Okay, we're recording on this at this point. Share. Share. You can see you should be able to see the whiteboard, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to highlight a few things. We're going to get started. When we talk about joins, what we really want to do is we want to consider try and draw this as best as possible. Two data sets. The data set in blue and the data set in red are two distinct tables. Now, what's going to happen is this, is that the two tables will somehow be connected. Let's just do it down here. I'll change the color. Will somehow be connected by a key or multiple keys. So I'm going to write it down there. I'm going to write the word key. And what a key basically is, it's an identifier that exists in both tables to allow you to link one record in one table to another record in another table. What you see here is a basic Venn diagram. That's what we call a Venn diagram. Now, what's going to be important is this, and you can find these charts online in a number of different areas. But if we want what's called, do it this way, we have a couple of joins we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on an inner join, we're going to focus on a left join, and we're going to focus on a right join. The inner join and left join probably constitutes about 90% of everything you will need with joins. The right join is actually just an inverted left join. And I'll show you what we mean about that. The inner join basically says, I want the intersection of the two data sets. In other words, based on the key, there's a record on this side, and there's a corresponding record on this side with the same key. And the time that exists is when we have the intersection of the two data sets. And we'll talk about that, and we'll see that a little bit later. The left join basically says, give me everything on the left side and all the corresponding records that match on the right side. So if there is no corresponding records on the right side, then it will still give you everything on the left, but any of the fields that were needed from the right side will be null. The right join is the exact opposite. The right join basically says, you know what? I want everything from this side of the table, and then any records that match in the intersection. Okay, so those are the three types of joins that we need, and we're going to go through them. We got the inner join, the left join, and the right join. So you need to think of them in these Venn diagram pieces. The other thing is that you can join multiple tables to each other, table to table to table to table. But it's really important to remember that joins are expensive. What I mean by expensive is that they take up a lot of time to do because it has to go through every record in one to match to the other. And there are ways to optimize it. We'll talk about indexes later. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look. If you've got the data loaded, you have your employees table. This is going to be our primary table. And as you can see, we have an employee number, a birth date, first name, last name, gender, and hire date. Now, we have this employee number, which is, if you see the definition, it's an integer and it has this PK. Now, PK is a primary key. This means in the database that the field is unique and there are no repeating records. So it is that's what it's called. It is a primary key field. So it is the identifier, a clear identifier for this record. That's important because when we have this notion of keys, we're going to have something called a foreign key. It's going to match to a key in another table or another field in another table that has the same format and will have the same records. And later on, we can talk about something called referential integrity. That's just a term making sure that records exist in one and not exist in another, and there are no what are called orphan records. So let's conceptually take a look first here. If I've got these employees and I've got employee number, and I look at the table called salaries, you're going to see here, I'll just run this again, this select row. You'll see that I have an employee number and I have a salary, a from date, a to date. Now, this table has no information about the employee. It only has the key, the employee number. So what I want to do is I want to join the salaries table with the employees. So let's do that now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select emp number, comma, salary, comma, because those are the fields that I want. Now, the thing is that from the employees table, I'd like to know who the hell I'm dealing with. So I need their first name and last name at the very least. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do an inner join first. Inner join. Now, the issue I have is the format for this is important. We're going to give the tables an alias. We talked about aliases the last time. Select the fields from employee size. I'm going to call this Sal as an alias. Just going to abbreviate it. And I'm going to inner join with, oops. Nope, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me do this again. I don't want employee size. I want employees. Wrong thing. So we're going to call this emp. I'm going to inner join with this employees salaries. This is, by the way, a problem. I shouldn't have called the schema the same name. That was kind of defaulted in the example that I used. So I should have renamed it for you. There's nothing wrong here, but when you see the employees dot employees, the thing to the left of the dot is the schema, and then the right is the table. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't pose any problems right now because we didn't really cover that. So I'm going to join this with the salaries table, and I'm going to alias it with this thing called Sal. Get my format right. As Sal. On. Now, the way I'm reading this is I'm going to inner join this with salaries. I'm going to call it Sal, so it's as Sal. And I need to tell it on what am I joining, on what field am I joining. So I'm going to join this on Sal dot employee emp number equals emp dot emp number. You're going to notice here that I'm referring to the emp number in table that is aliased as emp and the employee number that is aliased as Sal here in the left join. Does that make sense? Any questions so far?
Do you have to put as for EMP when you're giving it the...
Here, no, I should be able to leave it. I should be able to keep it without it.
Okay.
If you wanted to rename it, how would you go about doing that?
Say again, if I wanted to what?
Rename it.
Rename which?
So you have yours named employees. So you mentioned that you had it named kind of confusingly. So I have mine named. Yeah, so I have mine named a different thing. I'm just curious as to if I want to change it.
To rename the schema, I could right mouse click here. I could do alter schema, and then I can change the name. It's not letting me do it here. That's probably because of my collation. But there is a way to do it. There's an alter schema that will allow you to do it. I think I have a problem here because of the collation, because it will not let me do it. It's something that I'd have to just set up, and I don't have on here.
Okay.
All right, now, when I make this join, I need to tell which fields I want. Now, the employee is going to have, the emp table has first name, and the employee table has last name. So I'm using those aliases for that. And then I want the salary, which is going to be sal.salary. So that's coming from the salary table. Okay? So I have the first name coming from the employee table, the last name coming from the employee table, and the salary coming from the salary table. I will also add employee number just so that we can use that. Okay, so this should have everything that I want. Now, if this works, I should have the employee number, the first name, the last name, and the salary. And there you go. Now, you're going to see multiple records. Now, the reason the multiple records are there are because I will probably need to look at the dates. What is it called? From date to date. Sorry. you go. So you see he's got different salaries from date to date, from date to date. So this person's gotten, I guess, a raise every year of a few $1,000s.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions so far?
Getting an error for my select saying that it's not valid in this position for my server.
Can you share your screen?
Not sure why.
Get rid of the comma at the end.
Huh. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. All right. Now, in some cases, I may say, well, what if I have an employee and I don't have any salaries for them, or they're not there? In that case, I could use a left join. Now, what I'm going to do is I need to change this to don't limit. I'm going to run this. I don't know if there's any, if the left join will return any different records, but we're going to look down here at the bottom as it fetches the records. Okay, and it's got 2.8 million records. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from an inner join to a left join. Now, if it gives me the same number of records, it means that every record in the left side has a corresponding record in the salary table. That doesn't always happen, okay? Now, what I want to check is, I wish I had a better sample for this. Let's try this. Let's go back to inner join, and let's add another one. We're going to join to department emp, I think it is. Dev number. Okay, perfect. So let's do this. We're going to add a second one. We know that the employee belongs to a department, but you're going to see that the department is not in the employee table. It's a separate table. These are actually known as joining tables. They're constructs or linking tables that are made by the database designer to have something that looks like this. Let me just draw this out. Annotate, draw, circle. I have one table here. I have another table here. And then what I do is I create another table that basically has the ID from here and the ID from here as a matching set of records. And I'm using this third table as the linking table between the two. So let's take a look at what that looks like. If we look at select department emp, just make this here. Select departs emp. Boom. Okay, this employee was here, belongs to this department from date and to date. So it's telling me where the employee belonged. Now what may happen is I want to basically add, again, I still want to add in the other pieces that I had. So I'm going to basically do select emp number, comma, emp first name, comma, emp last name. Now,
should that be emp dot emp underscore num?
Yeah, here. Yep. Okay. These are going to be from my employee table. So employees.
Professor, before I fall further behind, can I share my screen with you? I'm having trouble locating database here, so let me just share. Yeah, so I'm just getting this error, so I'm trying to figure out, because I named it as just 0630 because that's the date of the class. I don't know how I mucked it up so bad.
Can you alter that then and just change it to like something else?
Change this?
The problem is you see the employees below?
Mm-hmm.
Change that. Yeah. Change that to 630-19.
There's an equal to there.
Yeah, I'm not that smart. Thank you.
Employees dot first name.
I have this as employees. Yeah, the rest of this. No, I got to change all of these to employee.
Yep. That should do it.
This is going to be, I don't think I need this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Working. No worries. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. So now I basically need to pull in the department number. So I want to pull in the department number. So I'm going to basically call this DEPT dot. I got to join it to this guy first. So DEPT dept no. So we're going to do we'll try the left join now. We're going to left join it with dept emp. As dept on.
You're gonna need a semicolon after the first one. Now that you're
I'm just gonna run it separately. Dept nope emp no equals emp dot emp no. I can put the semicolon here. That'll get rid of that little box, but I'm just going to run this by itself. And it gives me the department number. Now, the issue is this, is I don't know what the department name is. So what I can do is do another join, or I can do this as an inner join. And we'll call this departments, because that's what we want. Departments as, we'll call this D2 on. Now, because I'm trying to link on the department number, I have to use this alias. So we're going to do dept no. So that's coming from here. This dept no here from that is equal to D2 dot dept no. And I'm trying to connect it to this table. So what you have here is this, is I've got this dept no connected to this, and this employee number connected to the employees down there. So if I can move this down. Like that. That's what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to actually get the information. And now I should have access to the department name, like so. Run this. And now you have the department name. Does that make sense? I now have two joins here. Now the thing is that in this table, looks like I'm going to be able to just do inner join on both, and it should give me the same number of rows, 331603. So there's no difference between the inner join and the left join, because every record in the left has a corresponding record in the right. In other words, there's that for each one of the lefts that has a record, there's a corresponding record in the department table or in the salaries table. Okay? Does that make sense? Because now I'm going to mess it up completely. Okay? What I'm going to do is we're going to say that there's a problem here. So I'm going to select rows from departments. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me edit. Yeah, awesome. So we're going to edit customer service. We're going to call this D9A, D9B, D9C. Cool. And apply. All I'm doing is I'm editing. Why doesn't it let me edit? I get too long, of course. Give me 1 second.
So you had constrained the length of that field?
It was built in.
Okay.
This is the issue. It's got what's called a referential integrity. This foreign key, it will not let me do it because it's dependent on other tables. So just bear with me for 1 second because I'm going to kill this foreign key piece. Delete selected. Delete selected. Apply. Just work. Thank you. I go here. Apply. Apply. Do it. Words. What's the sounds? Now let's try this again. The table. Foreign keys. And I have none. It should be okay. I'll come here. Alter table. Foreign keys. None. Employees. It's a table. I should have none here. Foreign keys, and I have none. Good. Okay, let's go back to departments. What I'm trying to do here is I'm actually trying to force the left join to actually work. So that's what I'm trying to get to. Okay. Will not let me do it. Can I delete the row? I'm not going to want to do that either. Oh, it did. Okay, customer service is gone, but I bet you got rid of the stupid. When databases work, by the way, it prevents you from messing things up really well. So let's see if this works. I got rid of customer service, so excellent. Okay, so customer service is no longer here, but the problem is I have no orphan records. Oh, damn. Hold on 1 second. Let me try one other thing. Oh. Okay, I'm going to try. Change this to that. Excellent. Okay, so I should be able to now for this guy, this employee number 1, which we're going to actually see. So let me close this out, close this out, close this out, close this out, close, close. Okay, now let's do, where's that join again? There we go. Now the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a where clause where emp.empno equals 1001. The reason I want to do that is so that I can limit the search criteria here. Okay.
Is it varchar or numeric?
No, which one?
The emp.empno?
It should find it either way if it's varchar. It's an int. It's an int.
Okay.
However, now let's just see what happens if I do left joins. There we go. Okay. So now the left join is working. So let me explain first what's happening, and then I'll explain how I did the code. I have an employee here who has a department number DSX5. That department does not exist in this department's table. Okay, you can see it doesn't exist. But I was able to change the record and said he belongs to that department. So what happens is this, is if I go back to this table here, I'm basically doing a join. I'm doing a left join. Let me do an inner join first. I'm going to inner join with the department M table. So this department M table here, just going to take a while to come up here, that employee was with this department DSX5 from this date to this date. Okay, and technically that's his only department. He hasn't reported to anything else. So when I do this query, where is it, salaries? When I do this query and I do an inner join on department, comparing MNO to MNO, run this. Let me, no, good. All right, that will not work. Okay, if I only join with the department emp table, where that DSX5 is, I get this record. Now, if I want to join with the departments table, and I do an inner join on the department number, so it should have a corresponding department number in the departments table, which it does not, and I run this, and I run this, I get no records. The reason I get no records is because if you follow the bouncing ball here, when I look at the employees here, he's got a record here in the department emp, which was DSX5. Then the inner join says, give me all the matches, that exist for that DSX5 in this department's table, but it does not exist. So therefore, you end up with a null result. However, if I change this to a left join, oops, there we go. Clear out my, here. Close this. What will happen is it says, give me all of the records that match in the department M table. And that gives me the DSX5. And the left join says, give me all the records on the left side. The left side constitutes, I'm going to draw it out, constitutes this piece. This becomes my left side. So we're going to left join that to departments, and we're going to say, give me everything that's in here, and then the corresponding records in the right. If you don't have a match, it will return null. And that's what happens when we run this. The department name as returned here is null. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't think mine is right because I'm not getting the null. I'm not getting anything.
Did you change the record that I did?
Which?
In order to do this, you have to go to the department M table.
Oh.
Okay, I'll show you what I did, and I'll do it for another one for you. Go to the employee temp table, and what you do is, like, you take one of the rows and you click Edit, and you change this to say DRT4. Tab, apply, and it will now change that table.
Okay.
And that will allow you to get that left join. The whole purpose of it behind this is very simple. It is, first of all, I want to show you how you connect the two tables together using the inner join. And then I want to show you what the result is from a left join. The left join says, give me all of the records you have on the left side and anything that you may have that matches on the right side. if anything. If it doesn't match, it will return null for those fields.
So you renamed, his department was originally D005, you renamed it to DSX5?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Got it.
D005.
What is what?
Mine works with D005.
Yes, but that's the point, is that it will work because there is a matching record. So when you do an inner join, you'll get the same result as you do a left join. But when you change it to DSX5, you put him in a department that doesn't exist in the departments table, then if you do your query with an inner join, you'll get no record showing up. But if you do it with a left join, it will show up.
Okay, I get it. Okay.
That's the key behind doing this left join and right join piece. I'm sorry, the left join and inner join piece. Again, if both tables have a record, a corresponding record, inner joins and left joins will give you the same result. But in many cases, you have tables that are more populated on the left side that do not have a corresponding record on the right side, but you don't want to lose them from your query. You need them from the result. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know when you want to use left versus right join? Like with the left, you said that you circled what that included.
Yep.
If you were to use right join, how would you then explain what was included?
If I change this to right join, so here's what happens. So basically, what it means is that if you would actually do this. This would be the left side, which is the same thing above is the left side. Okay, this becomes the right side, and you're just telling it how you want the join to occur. The left is always the first one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can barely hear you, by the way, Colleen.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. So now let's do this. Now what we want to do is we'll do a right join on the departments. Okay? Let's run this. You get null. And the reason you get null is because it doesn't exist on the right side at all. The information does not exist on the right side. The key thing for this is that the inner joins and left joins are absolutely about 90% of what you need, period. Does that make sense? The inner joins and left joins are widely used, and they're used for almost everything because you're saying, give me all of the records in my primary table, like participants, customers, employees, and then give me any corresponding data you have on the right side, which are like departments or products that they purchased or something else. And that's why those are the two most widely used joins, if you will. Okay? All right, now I want to show you something with regards to this, where I have to clear this annotation. Are you all able to do this on your data set? Let me do this. Was anybody not able to do it?
Yeah, when I tried to rename my department, I was getting an error.
You're getting a foreign key error?
No, it was something about constraint. Can I just show you?
Go watch this. Go to departments and right mouse click.
Okay.
You alter table.
Got it.
Go to foreign keys.
Got it.
And then click on the first foreign key, click delete, and then do it for the second one.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I don't see
I
it.
just clicked.
Share your screen.
Sure. This is what happened when I clicked alter table.
Yeah, that's fine. Go down to the bottom here where it says foreign key.
Oh.
No, you don't have it.
I don't have it.
Go to department emp, DEPT emp.
Should I just click on it?
Yeah, alter table. Go to foreign keys. Get rid of those two foreign keys. It was an emp, I'm sorry.
How do I do? Just delete?
Hit delete. Right mouse click, I'm sorry. Delete selected. Same thing, and then click apply. Click apply, and now you should be able to go in and change that person's department.
Okay, great.
So now if I go to department, how am I altering this again? I just want to make.
You go to department emp and you move that person from DS005 to like DSX whatever.
005. Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Share. Workbench. Okay. Now I want to show you something. What's going on internally? I'm going to rerun this query here, this top query, with the inner join. I want you to notice something. You're going to look at the bottom where it says duration and fetch time. This is one of these queries where we can pretty much say that it's taking a long time. It took 3.11 seconds, even a little bit longer, but it took 3.11 seconds to run. What I want to do is this. When you look here at the two tables, you've got employees emp and salaries emp. Now, actually, I'm sorry, this is about as fast as it's going to be because it already has the indexes. I'll have to do it on another table. I forgot, I can't do it on this table. But we can speed up queries by putting on these indexes and primary keys. This already has it, so I'm not going to get any more performance on here. I'm going to try and create something, either use this, like getting rid of all of the keys, and so that we can run the same queries, let it take like 35 seconds, and then show you the difference, what happens when we add indexes and keys. Because that's important when you do optimizations for this. Okay? Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, what I'd like you to try and do is I'd like you to try and get the employee's department manager as well. Get a history of the department manager. We could use this employee emp and no. So now what you're going to do is you're going to create a record that basically has the employee first name, last name, their salary, and their department, and then the department manager. Wait a minute.
So in this instance, we're dropping the D2 department name and looking for the department manager.
Yeah, but the key thing here, and if you don't want to do this tonight or you can't get it, you want to give it a try, I'll jump online tomorrow or something like that to give you time to play around with it. But notice, if you look at department manager, right? This is the department. This is department number. This is the number of the employee who's the manager. So what do you think you need to do in order to get that person's name?
You have to ping the employee.
You have to go join it back to the employee, correct? Okay?
Okay.
In fact, what I think I want to do is, I think I want you guys to play around with this, and then I'll come back tomorrow and see how you guys do with it, because you got to play around with it a little bit. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Is everybody okay with that or no?
Yep.
Okay, because the good part about this schema here is you do have a lot of these tables. You've got the salaries, you've got the titles, what their title is, and from it you can create a very wide table, or a wide view, I should say, of an employee's record, and it's using inner joins. This is really all inner joins. There's no need for a left join. But if you do what we had just done before, where you take out the referential integrity, you can actually remove some records so that you can see the left join work. Okay? Any questions?
Oh, you might get a bunch from me tomorrow.
That's fine.
For now.
That's fine. I'd rather you play around with it, because honestly, the joins are they're important. So I want to get you another data set at some point this week that will actually do the same thing, where you will have to basically just make a bunch of joins. It's much better that way.
For the employee number of the employee and the manager, are we So when we're selecting from, are we going to have to select from 2 different tables?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Now, here's the thing. If you select, if you basically do your select from, so let me do this. Let me pretend that you're going to do another inner join. Okay? You're going to inner join with title, no, the department manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you do this as, let's call it D3, okay, on such and such. I don't want to give you the answer. Okay?
Yeah, whatever you're looking for.
Now, the department manager has an employee number in it. You may want to interjoin that again with employees as E2. I have to give it a totally new alias on D3.empno equals E2.empno. Notice, here's what I'm doing, just so that you can see this. My original table has the employees, right? That's where I'm selecting from. And I'm joining that here. I'm joining this here to the department manager. The department manager inside of it has an employee number, which is referring to the manager, right? So I need to basically join that D3 empno to this new employees table. And I know it's new because I'm aliasing it as E2, whereas this alias was EMP.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure. Yeah,
is there some interface wherein which you can see all the tables and their columns in a graphical manner in Workbench?
Yeah, what you've got to do if you want to do that is you've got to come up to, where's the model? You go to home, and you see this modeler?
Right.
Create a new model. Now what you can do is you should be able to, I don't use this that often, so bear with me 1 second. I think I have a diagram. I need to add it from the table. Hold on, whoops. I need to select the schema.
So I have a question. Your joins, because you had 3 inner joins in a row there, you're still executing in order of execution to completion. Is it from top to bottom?
Yes.
Or
yes.
Okay.
It is absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, the joins are, and that is also another optimization thing, because if you know how fast an inner join is, right? You can basically ensure that you can speed up your queries, because every time it's doing a join, it's looking at the current result set. So if you have a very big table and you join it with a small table and the result is small, and you want to join that with another table, it's using the small set as its primary table.
You're sending as much as you can out each time.
That's correct. That's correct. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Fihan, give me 1 second. I want to try and do this.
Sure.
I haven't done this in a while.
No worries. No, it's just something which would probably make life a little easier in terms of seeing what each table looks like and how you need to join them together. The alternative is I just use a pencil and paper and just, figure it out.
That's a big one.
Ooh, old school.
That's the way it works, man.
Pencil and paper. Ooh.
You know what those things are?
I've heard tales of it with the abacus, but I've never seen it.
You know what, Vahan? I will find it for you.
No problem. It's nothing urgent. I mean, don't worry about it too much.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me see if this does it. Yeah, it's in there. It's in model.
Okay. Yeah, I'll play around with it myself and see how it works.
Yeah, it's in model though. There's a spot in here to change the schema.
Right.
And when you change the schema, you will get, it'll create the table for you. It'll create the entity relationship diagram for you.
Okay. Okay.
I wasn't actually planning on going over entity relationship diagrams, but I will, I'll show you guys if you want how to do it at that point.
It's okay. I mean, no worries.
Hold on. Did I find it? No. Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't found it. Sorry. I'll take a look. If I find it, I'll post it for everybody.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So what I'd like you guys to do is I'd like you to be able to play with that a little bit. And if you run into an issue, just text me, or I'm around tomorrow. Tuesday I'm traveling, so I won't be able to respond pretty much all day because I'm traveling from South Carolina to New York, so it's a 13-hour drive. But I'll probably respond on Wednesday morning at some point and whatnot. But let's plan on just chiming in again probably tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Quickly for like 30 minutes, and then we'll see how you guys have done with the piece. And then if you're still running into difficulties, I'll have it ready for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you before you take off.
Yeah.
So the changes that we made to the foreign key, if I quit out of MySQL right now, because I work off of 5 computers, so I have to work off of this one, and I'm probably gonna shut it down. Will it save that change, or do I need to?
No, it saves the change on your computer. If you're using the same schema, yeah.
Yep. I'm trying to make sure if I quit out and then open it back up, if I do that.
Yeah, it saves. It saves
okay.
it. We're doing a lot of things ad hoc, in this, and it's both good and bad, the lack of structure. But what I really want to do is I want to play around with doing different things and allowing you guys to explore a little bit more. If you guys have a table that you're working with and you want me to take a look at it where we're dealing with inner joins and outer joins, I'll look at it. If you can share it with everybody, that would be great. And you can say how you used it, because I think you can benefit from that too. Okay. Is everybody good? Any other questions?
I do have a question, but nobody else has to stick around for it, so I figured I'd wait till after. It's just about why I can't get my thing to work.
Okay, share your screen.
It's just with the getting it to return the null thing. When I run it, it's still saying, or it's still returning nothing. So I don't know what I do.
Go to the department emp. Select rows.
I renamed it.
Okay, go back to the query that you had. Select them from inner join. Okay, change that to left join.
This one?
Because this is the one where you want everything from employees, regardless of whether or not it has an employee department. Go ahead, run that. Oh, no, stupid me. Change it back the way you had it. I'm sorry. Could you change it from 1001 to 10,001?
Oh.
Should have seen that. There you go.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
No worries. All right. Are we good? Any other questions?
I have a slightly different question. It's more of a conceptual thing. In your opinion, are databases really the best way to store time series data for finance?
Yes. Forget the last part, okay? If you tell me, if you start a sentence with, are databases the best way to store data, right? The answer is going to be yes.
Right.
Now, the next question is, what type of data and what type of database?
Right.
Okay? If you talk about unstructured data, I wouldn't say use MySQL.
Right.
But time series data, like financial data, it's irrelevant that it's time series. It is tabular data. And I would say this, if you can put it in Excel, you should put it in a database.
Okay.
And you would agree that time series belongs in Excel.
True, yep.
So therefore it belongs in a database.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Only thing, I have to think about how the table would be structured.
No, good luck with that one. That's great. That's a good one. Because what happens is that you need to create probably multiple tables,
right?
Depending on what you're doing. The reason we use keys, right, which is something that we should talk about a little bit later, but the reason we use keys is to reduce the duplicate data. The key represents all data that would have been duplicated in a particular table that is not needed. Mm-hmm. So like if you consider having a student has all the information tied to their student ID, and then you have a class or a series of classes. Students can belong to multiple classes. Mm-hmm. So that's called a one-to-many relationship.
Right.
I wouldn't want to necessarily repeat all of the student information in every one of the classes. Mm-hmm. So I can just reference a key that will go get all that information. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions?
Hi, I couldn't figure out that actually the key thing. So can just
the what thing?
The that we were just asking that. Yeah.
Go to
apply here. I deleted the foreign keys.
Yep. Go ahead. Click apply. Oh, nothing changed. So it had already changed it.
Oh, okay. So
now you should be able to run the query.
Okay, fine.
Make sure you change the department, right? And then you should be able to run the query.
Okay. So I need to change department to which?
Select row. Select rows there.
Okay.
Right mouse click on department. Select rows. Change that first one. Click on the no. Double click. No. Click on employee number again.
Here.
Yeah. Okay, now click on the D005. Change it to DSX5 or something. And then hit tab. Click apply. Now your left join that we did will work.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay?
Oh, fine.
Okay, any other questions? You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right, so play around with the inner joins and the left join, and then let's see what the query looks like tomorrow. We'll sign up for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We'll see where everybody is, and then I'll help fix it, and then I'll give you a solution.
Cool. And you'll upload this on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna, as soon as it takes about, like I said, 45 minutes.
Cool, no worries. Yeah.
Okay.
So you mentioned finding the department manager. Could we get that like in just like text format so I can remember what I'm trying to replicate or what I'm shooting for tomorrow, and then something else to play around with after I feel I've got that down?
I don't understand what you mean.
So it's so right now we're just looking for the department. Like the last example that I think we left off to look for tomorrow was finding the department manager attached to the employee, right?
Yep.
So are we just trying?
I want you to basically get the employee's name, get their department, and get their manager, and if you can, get the title.
Okay, I'm just writing it down. Thank you.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, then. I will see everybody tomorrow night.
Cool. See you. Yeah,
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.